Hi, it's Austin with a special edition of Austin's Animal Facts. Special because today is a field trip day and we're leaving the studio to visit the Moorpark College Teaching Zoo here in Southern California. It's called America's Teaching Zoo, and it's the only one of its kind in the United States. I'm going to talk with Mara Rodriguez, who knows everything there is to know about the animals and the zoo, and will show me around. You're going to like this one, so stick around. Here we go. So here we are at America's Teaching Zoo here at Moorpark College in California, the only one of its kind in the country. If you want to work with wild animals when you grow up, this is the place to go. I'm here to talk with Mara Rodriguez. She is in charge of zoo operations, a teacher, and an expert animal trainer. Hi Mara, thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure, Austin. It's so great to have you here today. I can't wait for you to meet some of our spectacular animals.
So how did this zoo get started?
Austin, can you believe this zoo all started 46 years ago? It was the idea of a science teacher here locally. He thought it would be great to start a program where people who love animals could come and learn how to work with them and get their dream job.
Wow, that's so cool.
It is. It's really amazing because it's the only one of its kind, and it's right here in Moorpark, California.
So when the kids, after they go to this college, what do kids want to do when they get out of college?
Well, the answer to that is a really good one. I get that question all the time. And it's short and simple. They can do just about anything with exotic animals because the training that we give them here is so broad and specialized that they can work with guide dogs for the blind, they can become movie trainers, they can do wildlife education, or some of them even become veterinarians.
Nice. How did you get started at the college?
Well, I grew up in Pasadena, California, and I always dreamed of being a killer whale trainer at SeaWorld, which some of my students still dream about to this day. I came to school here and I realized I really like all animals, so I decided not to just stick with killer whales and marine mammals. I wanted to broaden my horizons and work with everything, and lo and behold, I'm back here working with lots of animals and lots of students.
So can we go see some animals?
Well, I have a feeling that's why you came here today. Of course we can. Let's go.
So I have a desert tortoise at my home that my dad has had since he was a little boy. So is that like this one?
Well, yes.
What's the difference between this one?
So they're both tortoises that are different from turtles, and that's something that we try to teach people here. Well, let's let him have that. All right, you can let go. Very strong beak there on that guy. So the desert tortoise and the Galapagos tortoise, both tortoises, so they live on land. But the Galapagos tortoise is spectacular and different because it only comes from the Galapagos Islands.
How old is he?
Believe it or not, Clarence is 95 years old. But that's just over middle age for a tortoise. They can actually live to be about 120, sometimes even 150 years old.
Where did you get him from?
Well, believe it or not, he came from the Galapagos Islands. He made his first home at the Dallas Zoo, then the LA Zoo, and now he's here at Moorpark College. This big guy here was not too popular with the other tortoises. So he is a prime example of an animal that benefits from living alone. So that's why he's here. He has this great big space, plenty of humans, and a lot of cactus. We're just happy Clarence is here, and he's the ambassador for all Galapagos tortoises. All right, Austin, this is Ibis. She is our African serval. What do you think?
I think it's super cool. Are they related to the cheetah?
Wow, if I had a nickel for every time someone asked me that question. They are both cats. but they're a different species. But every single time we bring this animal out, everyone always asks, is it related to the cheetah? Is it a baby cheetah? So it's a really good question. So the reason people think that they're closely related is that the spots, obviously, the long legs, but servals are just their own individual species of cat. They're really considered a small cat, even though they're pretty big in size. But if you take a look at them, they are just exquisite. They're so beautiful.
What is your favorite food?
Well, like all the cats, their very favorite food is meat. They're carnivores. So Heather, what is she eating right now?
So right now she's eating a form of ground beef. So it's actually the whole cow, and it's actually for zoo animals specifically. And it's called Nebraska, and it's, oh, we're gonna go up, all right. And it's very nutritious for them. It's very balanced diet, so it's exactly what she would need nutritiously.
Like, where's their natural habitat?
Their natural habitat is the savannas of Africa, and it's very easy to tell where this animal might live just by looking at her body. Those long legs help her to see over the grass. What do you think of those ears, too?
That means they look super smart and alert.
Yes. Those big ears mean that they have an incredible sense of hearing, obviously. And so what I love about wild animals is you don't have to know anything about them. You can just look at their bodies and really tell a lot about what they do naturally and what their strengths and their challenges are. She was confiscated from a truck driver. Do you think it's legal to have these as a pet?
No.
No. So someone was trying to do that and was caught. Now the good thing is he was taking very good care of Ibis in that truck, feeding her properly, not perfectly, so she came to us very healthy from the Star Eco Station who rescued her.
Is she full grown?
Yes, we get that question all the time because like we talked about earlier, people think they're baby cheetahs. So servals actually range in size from 19, 18 pounds to small female, up to 50 pounds would be a large male right in his prime. So they really do range in size, but people often think like, oh, she's probably young because she's very dainty looking, but this is her full grown.
Do they hunt in packs?
Servals are solitary and they hunt on their own. And their very favorite thing to hunt for, I'm gonna have you guess. What do you think their very favorite thing to hunt for is?
Like,
if you take a look at her legs, she can probably jump, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you
probably
think?
birds.
That's birds, exactly. She would actually catch a bird flying right over her head in those savannas as she hides in the grass.
Like, what's her type of hunting skills? Like, do they go stealth or?
Their hunting is like a lot of animals. Like all cats, they're very quiet on their feet, so they can sneak up on their prey. So that being said, her style is to be very stealthy in those grasses of the savannas. And then, most dangerous part of that animal's body, because it's its first line in hunting, is the claws. We have 4 servals here, and that's because they're great teaching animals. They have all those characteristics of a big bad wild animal, the claws, the hissing, but they're actually quite easy to train, and they're pretty adaptable and can handle the change in students that happens every year.
She is really, really beautiful, but I bet you have other animals.
We sure do. Let's go see them. So this is Karma and Neil, and there are 2 newest additions. They're so much fun. 7-month-old tiger cubs. They came to us for very different reasons. Neil the male came to us because he was a confiscated pet. Just like Ibis the serval, illegal to have these in your home.
Yes.
So California Fish and Wildlife confiscated Neil from that private home and brought him here to us, where he has a great home. Now, he was young and rambunctious, and we were training him, and we're teaching him to walk on a leash and some other training, and we decided, like with all baby animals, it would be great if he could have a playmate. And it's been almost 2.5 months. They're best friends, and we are so thrilled that they're here to play together and to live together.
What are their natural predators?
They really don't have natural predators. I would say that the challenge they have the most in the wild is humans, is that we are an unnatural predator, if you will. So they're being hunted, they're being poached, and I would say that that is their biggest challenge in the wild.
What is their favorite food?
Their favorite food is meat, and their favorite thing to do is play in the water. So I sometimes feel like we could reinforce them with ice water, but they love meat, just like all the big cats.
So how do they hunt their food for their prey?
Their hunting style is pretty cut and dry. They sneak up on their prey, they jump on their neck, and they bite them.
How big can they get?
Tigers are actually the largest of all the big cats. A lot of people think the lion is the largest. A male Bengal tiger, a male Siberian tiger rather, can weigh up to 800 pounds. So they have a lot of room to grow, and they're going to put on a lot of pounds here in the next few years. Ira, come here! Please come here! Come on!
So who is this?
This is Ira, and Ira is an African lion. They call him the king of the jungle, but they don't live anywhere near a jungle.
How long can they live till?
In our care, the lions that we've had in the past have lived to be 20 years old. In the wild, lions don't live very long. They have a pretty hard life. There's a lot of fighting that happens between them because they live in groups, and there's a lot of disease and a lot of competition for food. So in the wild, they live to be, sometimes a male only lives to be about 3 to 5 years old, but I would say 8 years old on average.
How long have you had him here at this zoo?
We've had Ira since he was 9 months old. He came to us when he was about 120 pounds. And at that point, I was able to go in with him and pet him and feed him and train him. And now we have his enclosure here, and he gets to play in a play yard. And that's a lot of training now happens from the outside of the enclosure because he has gotten so big.
Every day here, they have a show so they can teach the public about the animals.
The thing about horses is they're actually kind of sort of standing on their tippy toes. So each
This is Delilah, and Delilah is a blue crane. They are the national bird of South Africa. Oh, do you mind feeding her this?
No.
It might feel like a little poke, but that beak is not for hunting. So go ahead and hold it out in your hand. Oh, there you go. You just gave her a freebie.
Yeah.
There you go. Just like that. Look at Delilah. She's kind of a messy eater, isn't she?
How old is she?
She's 10 years old. And we've had her here for about 5 years. I really love her. She is one of my favorite animals on the zoo because she is just so easygoing. She's so beautiful, and she's so adaptable, and she's so willing to walk into new environments. Believe it or not, we take her just about everywhere. She's been all over the place. She's been on TV shows, and she gets in her crate and gets in the van, and we go. Some of our animals here, it takes longer to be friends with them. Delilah, it takes a few days, and all of a sudden she'll follow you and decide to be your friend. So she can be a teacher to many different people, many different students. So we're able to teach a lot of students how cool cranes are.
Nice. I read about that, how you can sponsor the animals here and adopt them. So how does that work?
Right, that's one of our most popular programs, and it's a great way for our zoo goers and community to get involved here and support us. The sponsorship program is a way that a person can help take care of an animal for a year. And that sponsorship covers the cost of their food, their medicine, and their overall care. So anyone that fills out that application and sponsors an animal really participates in the great care that we give here.
Nice. Mary, I want to thank you for having me, and I enjoyed learning about all the animals, and I can't wait to do this again.
Well, Austin, it was a pleasure having you. And you know what? Thank you for all that you do in doing these videos. You're really educating people, and that's the most important thing about a zoo, is to educate people on how amazing these animals are. So you are doing that, and we appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
High five.
Well, that was my visit to America's Teaching Zoo. I sure want to thank Mara and all her students who helped show us the animals. I don't know. I think my favorite were the tiger cubs. You can follow Mara on Instagram and keep up with everything that's happening at the zoo. Search Mara the Trainer. I'll put the links in the description below, along with links to find out all about the Teaching Zoo, just in case you'd like to become a student. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next time on Austin's Animal Facts.